All right, welcome back to the Brown Balls Podcast, episode 21. We got the brothers in the house again. Kair, Kaneo, how you doing, man?
Good, how are
you?
This is a special playoff edition. So we're going to go over the last games of the week on week 18, and then also paint the picture as far as how the playoffs will go. We'll give each of our predictions on how everything will turn out. I already know how these two will pretty much predict everything because it's just whatever team they represent needs to go all the way, of course. But we will definitely get into that. But let's go into some of the games from this past weekend. I think, Kaneo, you and I, when we were talking last week, we really wanted the Bengals to go all the way, right? So they beat the Steelers on Saturday.
Yeah.
And then you have the Kansas City game where they sat out everybody, threw Carson Wentz out there, and Carson Wentz does Carson Wentz stuff.
Which is fine.
Stunk it up.
Yeah.
And they lost, 35-0. 38-0, sorry. 38-0.
Which is fine. I understand. You deserve to bench your players. You clinched, number one throughout the playoffs. I get it. But what I did not like about it is the fact that I kind of felt that the team kind of let it known to their backups that, hey, play, but don't play hard.
Yeah, of course.
I felt okay. Like I'll give you an example.
Don't get injured.
For example, Patriots game, right? That was number one seed was on the line, and they were playing hard. They put up their third string QB in there against the Buffalo Bills, and they played hard, And so same thing with the Rams. Rams had we had something to play for. The only thing we had a chance to play for was to get the number 3 seed maybe, and we didn't get it. But our backup still played hard. I felt that KC's players, their backups, just gave the ball away. Like the way the game was going, it was just like, why even have the game? Like, I understand you don't want the Bengals to make it, but let's not make it that obvious. I'm surprised the backups kind of threw the game away like that because you're essentially playing for a contract for another team next year, and it's kind of like a tryout, mini tryout for all these players in this last week, So I was kind of disappointed, man. Make the game a little competitive and then throw the game. I understand, like for example, if they're down by 7 and they have the ball 2 minutes left. Fine, don't score. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But let's not make it 40-0 and pretend to be there, So that was my issue.
Yeah. Kara, what do you think?
Yeah, I didn't really watch the game because I was glued into the Packers and the Bears game. But if case, well, I think Cincinnati had a tough road to get into the playoffs because I think they had to have Denver and Miami lose, and then they had to win to get into the playoffs. And so the Jets did their part because the Dolphins lost. But as far as Denver and KC, maybe it's true what my brother is saying because I didn't watch the game that the backups weren't playing really well, or really hard. Or maybe it's just the case that Denver desperately wanted to make the playoffs and they're playing their starters all throughout the game, and Casey's backups are just not good. I mean, they may be playing hard, but they're just not good enough, right? And so good for Denver. Where they were, the last 2 years, and now drafting a rookie quarterback and making the playoffs, that's something.
I'm just saying, it's just make it a little competitive, man. It's fine,
Yeah.
They almost made it though.
Because with me, at least in the AFC, I think the biggest challenge to the Chiefs is probably the Bills, right? At this current state. So I would assume if they really wanted to screw the Bills up, they probably should have let the Bengals in, right? You would think that in that way they would give the Bills a hard time and possibly get knocked down the first round. You never know, because the Chiefs don't care. They're not going to play them until second or third round. So
it'll be a second round.
Why not just let them in and see if they can mess up the Bills? You never know.
It would essentially be a second round matchup because the Bills will have the lowest seed, and Bill upsets number 2 in that case. In that number 2 is who's the Bills, right? Bills, yeah. They'll play the Bills.
Bills number 2, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. They'll play the Bills and then they'll play KC in the second round. Yeah. To be honest, I know seeding matters, and it does really matter because if you get placed with a team that is on fire, you might lose. But it's fine. Like I said, Chiefs deserve to bench their players, but I'm just disappointed in backups, man. If I was a backup running back or a backup QB, I would want to play my heart out because I'm trying to get a contract, and not just throw the game away.
Yeah,
to be honest.
But they also want to be fully rested. If someone gets injured there, that's going to completely mess up their team. So I'm pretty sure Andy Reid's just like, guys, just show up, just put the jersey on, and just pretend it's a Pro Bowl. Let's let them through. Who cares? But yeah, there was definitely a game that once I saw it was 14-0, and the first one, Bengals are out. It's done. There's no shot.
Exactly.
So that was a big game that pretty much eliminated the Bengals. But the other game that was of importance for them was going to be the Jets and
Yeah.
the Dolphins, and the Jets winning that one.
Mm-hmm.
What was it, 32-20? Biggest thing here was obviously, Aaron Rodgers. Potentially, you guys think is his last game as a Jet, or do you think he comes back
You're done.
in New York or as a career?
No. With the Jets, is done. He's not retiring. I know there's rumors that came out that he might be deciding maybe he might want to retire. That's not happening. And so
It's like Green Bay all over again.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel that watch out for these playoffs. There's a team out there that's in the playoffs currently that can be knocked out in the first round, and they're ready to win the Super Bowl.
Don't say the Vikings, God.
That's the Vikings, right? Because they do have everything. They have the defense, they have the receivers, and the running back.
They can
right?
sign Sam Darnold to a multi-year.
No, I mean,
Rams. Okay, go ahead.
Right, okay. And there's a team that did not make the playoffs, right? Even though they were good enough to make the playoffs, they didn't even win the division, and that's the Niners. And people are not really thinking about it, but I think those are really good possibilities. Those are the only two places that I do see where Rodgers can go. I don't see him back in the Jets, man. It was a disaster, and I just don't see him back. And if he comes back, damn, that'll be a long season again.
Yeah, what do you think here? Do you think he comes back with the Jets, or retires, or goes somewhere else?
I think he comes back. I'm not sure if it's going to be with the Jets. I don't think he wants to go out this way. If he would have made the playoffs and would have went to the second round or the conference finals, then I can see him like retiring. But I don't think he wants to go out this way. It all depends on who the Jets bring on as the general manager and then the coach and see if they want him back. But I think Rodgers at this point in his career, I think everyone agrees that he has sort of declined a bit. So I think he needs to go to an offense where it's more creative and it's not very much dependent upon him. Like run heavy, but then also use his talents, make it creative, like McVay or Shanahan, LaFleur type offense where it's just creative, or like even Detroit, like Ben Johnson, right? Because it's all run heavy and then play action right from the run, using motions and all that. So I think Rogers has to realize that, you know, um, he shouldn't butt head a lot and say, I'm a superstar and, I know the league better and I know how to play football. So here's the way we're going to do it. Because it's never going to work like that. Like those days are gone. Like I have a lot of knowledge, do it my way. I don't want to, run your offense. Let's do a mix. It's not going to work that way. Yeah, you can still get his input, but I think mostly if it's like a coach driven where it's creative and they're not dependent upon him, I think they can still lead them to a Super Bowl like that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think he gets in his own way a lot of time by that arrogance that he has. That I'm a 2-time MVP, whatever it was, and I've won one championship ring a long time ago. But that's what he holds against everybody. But now, I mean, especially in the last 3 years, he hasn't played well. The last year with the Packers, and then obviously previous year, he was injured after 4 plays, and then this year too, like. He has no say anymore, so he has to go to a system that's just going to allow him to just throw the ball. And I think Niners makes the most sense. I don't think Minnesota would want to introduce any kind of thing to their current how everything is with Sam Darnold. They wouldn't want to bring Rodgers because Rodgers will mess everything up. Just Jefferson is also a very big diva, so you're gonna mess up that entire chemistry with that in itself. So I don't think the Minnesota Vikings want anything to do with that. They probably either will just go Sam Darnold or their
JJ McCarthy,
rookie.
JJ
but
McCarthy.
I don't think they'll ever want to touch that team. But another team I think that could look that way is probably the Colts. Who knows? Because Anthony Richardson is turning out to be bigger bust than Caleb Williams, honestly.
Well, at least it was a number 1 pick, man. So
I know, but still, he's so highly regarded, but he's not playing well,
exactly.
and he's quitting on the team all the time.
I will defend Rodgers in one thing though, and that is coming from a big type of injury like this, which is an Achilles rupture. Just you gotta judge him not this year. You have to judge him next year because it's like an MCL, like a knee blowing up as well. It takes time, just to kind of be comfortable with your body again. So as much poorly that Rodgers has played this year, he could have played a little better, but I do feel that, I still think he can do much better. And I think he will be much better next year with whoever he plays for. It's just that he came out of that big injury and I don't think he was comfortable yet, you know? And so let's see what happens. I do feel that yesterday's Sunday night game showed a lot what Sam Darnold did. It's a big time game, and there's so many open players that he just missed. He wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. And it was actually a first game that Darnold actually didn't come through in a big type of game where it was too obvious, where he could have threw it to a receiver A instead of a B, and he didn't do it. He missed everything. And you're talking about a 14-2 Vikings team that feel that they can win a Super Bowl. Because, I mean, they show that they have everything, right? They put a backup QB named Sam Darnold in and went 14-2. Just imagine if they have a proven veteran QB who's gone there before to Super Bowl, you know, who has a chance to, like, come up clutch in these big games. That's what Rams did, right? Because Goff never came through. We went out and got Stafford because Goff always choked in the big-time moments, right? And Rams felt that they were ready to win, and they were. And they went and got Stafford. So that's why I see Vikings as another choice, because if they lose this Monday night against the Rams, and that's a back-to-back performance that, you know, they didn't do well. And that's going to be heavily depending on Sam Darnold, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, I think the Lions game, you can't take that into context because honestly, that game was heavily, like, you know, hyped up. There's a lot of emotions there. Like, that one game doesn't define Sam Darnold in my eyes for his whole
at the same
season.
time, okay, look,
but like Rodgers over and over and over. I mean, he lost to Bo Nix 9-6. Like, you can't lose to the Broncos 9-6. Right? Then he got his best friend Devontae Adams out there, like, calling, and then they don't do anything. And no, another quarterback, and this is a quarterback that got benched that also had a Achilles, which was Kirk Cousins last year. He came back this year. He got benched, but he still put up better numbers than Rodgers. Even up until end of the season now, he has better numbers than Rodgers, and he got benched 2 games ago. So, like, you know, I get it. It's an injury that's a freak injury, whatever. But people have come back, and Rodgers as a player didn't play bad this year. What got him the issue is what he says after the game. Like, all the stuff he says makes people upset and not want to play for him. So, like, why introduce the drama?
I agree.
I mean, another drama right now is going to be Tyreek Hill. So you guys saw this after the game. He pretty much is saying, I'm done with Miami. Get me out of here. He's saying he wants to preserve his legacy. He wants to win now all of a sudden, even though he decided to leave all of the winning. He could have been a 3-time champion if he stayed in KC and took the money. But he wanted more money, so he left for Miami and then said Tua was better than Pat Mahomes, which is crazy, by the way. That's like, you know, the Packers saying Jordan Love's better than Aaron Rodgers. But, you know, we'll keep it within the what do you guys think about this? So, yeah, do you think Tyreek Hill stays with the Dolphins? I mean, I don't think so, but where would he go?
I mean, after he said I'm out, like, I mean, how do you bring him back?
You can't negotiate a price anymore. Like, and then another thing was he also quit on the team. So I don't know if you saw the soundbite, but McDaniel said that he wanted to have Tyreek Hill out there for a play in fourth quarter, and then he just got a note saying that he's not available. He's going to play.
Yeah.
There was no injury, nothing. He just said, I want to play. So he pretty much quit on the team too.
Exactly. He blamed it on the fact that Broncos were winning up big. And he's like, there's no point. You know, what am I playing for here, right?
Out there.
I mean, you still want to represent your last game. But, I mean, look, he's another guy that I would, if I'm a team, I would say 100, like, freaking yard away from him. I do not want him on my team.
Yeah.
He's a great talent, great player. But also he brings this kind of baggage, right? He wants to be center of attention. I'll tell you what type of team he'll end up with, but I don't know if you will, but that's in Big D. But what I'm trying it's just horrible.
Too much drama, man.
I think a good fit would be the Bills because they have a strong team with a really good quarterback, right? Good running game, good defense, and they need a really good wide receiver or two. So he would be a great fit in Buffalo, I think. And if I'm Miami, I just get rid of him. If I can get a 4th round pick and a 5th round pick or something, or a 3rd and a 4th, I'll just do it. If a player says you don't want to be here anymore, why would I have him on the team?
Kara, would you ever think Green Bay would want someone like him? Just because, I mean, again, Green Bay has good receivers, but
Tyreek we need a clear number 1 receiver, but not Tyreek Hill because I think he brings drama, and we're still a young team. And so it was just mess everything up.
Yeah,
You need somebody with, a quarterback that has won a lot more games,
mm,
a team that has a lot of veterans and a strong culture, I think. And Green Bay is the youngest team in the league.
yeah.
So I don't think it's gonna work there. If especially if he acts out. So I think a veteran team that's Super Bowl ready, like KC, Buffalo,
Mm.
even maybe, Baltimore, right? I mean, they need receivers
That's
too,
another one that's been thrown out. Yeah,
right?
Baltimore.
Pittsburgh can use them,
I'll tell
they need
you.
receivers
Yeah,
too,
I'll tell you.
right?
I'll tell you exactly one team that it fits perfectly, and that team is letting go the same exact player this year too. Niners. Debo's not coming back. He's a Debo type of
right.
player, and they can play exactly the same way if you look at it.
The Niners are kind of a mess right now.
They
I
are.
don't know
They
if
are.
he wants to get balls thrown by Brock Purdy.
Exactly, but
Honestly,
if
like
you
they're
look at
kind
it,
of all over the place.
if you look at Debo's game and if you look at Tyreek Hill's game, they're very similar. The way they play, And the only difference is that Tyreek actually goes deep and he can catch those
Yeah,
balls.
yeah.
Debo
Debo's
doesn't,
more of a
but
running back wide receiver combo.
they could use
Yeah,
Tyreek as a run too, So
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think Garrett's right. I think he needs to go somewhere where the quarterback is a veteran. They
yeah,
can hold him accountable. And I mean that's why like the thing with Tampa Bay when Antonio Brown kind of because he's kind of the same player as Antonio Brown, great talent but a head case. And Tom Brady tried to make it work, and even Tom Brady couldn't control Antonio Brown. So you need to have a quarterback that's accountable, like a Josh Allen or something like that,
yeah,
or Mike Tomlin, a coach that's like that who can handle these characters. He would be good with that. But if you throw him in with the Niners or whatever, he's just gonna act out right within the first game, be like, "Get me out of here! I don't want this." Blah blah blah, or go back to Kansas City. Honestly, just tuck his tail, go back to Kansas City and go get catch up with Pat
dude,
Mahomes.
I don't think Casey wants him back. To be honest, they're happy
He's
with
got
that
he
over
got, he's
there.
got to let go of a lot of ego if he does that. If he goes back to
Yeah,
Kansas City,
I mean, I
God,
can see
after all the stuff
Buffalo.
he said,
Yeah. I can see
jeez,
Buffalo getting him and like playing against KC. That'll be a great, rivalry going forward. But I don't see him going back to KC, man.
yeah. All right, let's go. I mean, so that was the main
Wait,
games, honestly. Besides,
one more game. Big upset,
which
bro.
one?
Bears and Chicago. I mean,
Oh,
come on, man. I
Not a
mean,
big
oh yeah.
I
upset.
mean,
I
I
mean,
Let's
mean,
I
talk
we
about
talking
this.
about it's not
I
a big
mean,
I
upset.
want I want to
It's
hear from the Packers fan.
whoa. You guys had a chance to play for something and not be playing for the Eagles. You guys could have been playing. You guys,
no. It, it was only if Washington lost and we would have won, then we would have had the sixth seed. But Washington ended up winning, and even if we did win, it would still have been seventh. So it didn't really matter
yeah.
for us.
I'm
So
so surprised that Green Bay still lost to Chicago Bears because one of our
yeah,
other
I didn't
friends,
like the way.
one of our other friends, like, oh yeah, Bears are gonna obviously lose to Green Bay, and I'm like, no, I'm like, there's something still to play for. I mean, Bears gonna show up, and as you know, Bears showed up. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that first quarter. I don't know if you saw the game, Tapas. I know my brother did,
No.
but that first quarter, how'd you guys lose the side of the ball and got tricked by the Bears and punt
I don't
return, man?
know. It's just one of those trick plays on special teams where maybe the guy on the right side is waving his hand, but the ball's actually on the left side. So everyone started going to the other side, and the ball was on the opposite.
And at the same time, what was it with LaFleur? What's his name? The coach's comment after the game saying that they had a meeting after the game and players were pissed. And
I didn't listen to the press conference, so I don't
okay,
know.
yeah, I was kind of shocked by that. I'm like, come on, just let it be. It is what it is. Just you're in the playoffs. Let's go.
Well,
So
I don't think you don't want to go into the playoffs losing two straight games or even losing the last game of the season. And I think if you play really well, and if it's like a high scoring game, and if you lose that way, then yeah. But this is like where the offense couldn't get anything going. The defense played well for most of the game, I would say, but even the defense, in that last 50 seconds where the Bears had the ball, we had a horse car penalty, so that moved them up.
oh yeah, they
And
did. Yeah.
then Caleb Williams threw like a dart, for like 15, 20 yards right through the middle, right? And so nobody was covering the middle. And so that's how they ended up in the field goal range. And so the defense didn't play as well, but they still played better than the offense.
It's
And
so
it was
funny.
just
That
not
game,
a good.
Caleb is such an idiot, man. He did, like all he had to do was waste time. I don't know if you saw that play towards the end of the fourth quarter with under 2 minutes to go. All he had to do, this is what I mean. This guy reminds me of Kwame Brown, right? All he had to do was waste time, right? And what he does is start throwing the ball forward. He throws it lateral, and they fumble it.
Yeah.
And Green Bay recovers that. And like Green Bay was already down by 2 at the time. And I'm like, all you got to do is let Green Bay use all their 3 timeouts and just freaking run the ball, man. Like, he can't do the simplest shit, dude. Like,
I mean, they're still trying to build around him. So I mean, the Bears are trying to find some coach that's going to be able to coach him up. So they haven't lost faith in him. But yeah, he doesn't look good at all, honestly.
he looks
Like,
Ben
bad.
Johnson. That's what I would go.
yeah, that's what they're saying too. But I don't know. Ben Johnson, he turned down jobs last year and stayed with the Lions, so he may just do the same thing again. He could have been a coach for a couple of teams, but then he just said no. I want to stay as an offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't know. Would you want as a coach? Would you really want to take the Chicago Bears job? Because you're not winning that division for a while. Honestly, the Packers are getting just better and better every year. Lions are potentially the best team in the NFL, and the Vikings are right there. So, like as a Bears, you're just gonna keep being middle of the pack for the next few years. So why even bother? Like this franchise is not gonna go anywhere because the division's so damn loaded.
I agree. I completely agree.
But they have cap space, so they can draft and then add some
But
free
Could you
again,
agents here and
imagine
there.
the Bears being better than any of the three teams in their division the
Minnesota's
next
just
couple
It's
of
all
better.
going
years?
to depend on how Caleb Williams comes along and how quickly he develops,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
don't see that.
I mean, he went from Keneal's best quarterback to the worst quarterback in that entire conference. So
I'm
I don't
talking about
know.
Kwame Brown here, bro.
Did you heard that right, Kerr? He said that Caleb Williams will be the best quarterback in that division at end of the year. That's what he said. That was his prediction going into the season. And I
yeah,
was
I know
like,
my
that was the
brother.
wildest take I've ever heard in my life.
My brother is like the Skip Bayless,
Hey, hey,
like
hey,
wild,
hey,
these
Just
wild
hey.
throw
takes,
stuff out
Hold on,
there.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Whoa, time out,
Skip
time out.
Diddy.
Hold on. Time out. Guys. Let's not go. Let's not go there.
it
That's
doesn't
not a.
matter, but you're like Skip Bayless. Jordan Love can't play in the outdoors, but yet the stadium is located outdoors. So I don't
It
know
was
how
a.
that's
It was a. It
possible.
was a. It was a joke that you did not get. No, but
Oh my
honestly though,
gosh.
Caleb, like, I mean, he showed promises, right? When he played in college and everything, he showed promise, right? That's why he got drafted by. And I wasn't the only one that thought that he was gonna be one of the, you
I
know,
mean, he was number
I
one pick.
mean,
So everyone knows
like
that.
you guys make it seem like I'm the only one who thought he was gonna be the great one. I mean, he's the number one overall pick. He's the Heisman
Yeah.
winner, right? I mean, it wasn't me. It was literally everyone out there that nobody even thought twice.
But only you thought he'll be the best quarterback in that division.
I mean,
Everyone thought he'll be the
honestly,
QB.
look.
Everyone thought he'll be the rookie of the year.
Look. I thought that he would be best by this year, obviously, right? Because
Mhm.
I had golf on my team. He's good, and I
Yeah.
still think he's good. He's not great. Jordan Love. We'll see what happens in Philly, right? He didn't perform last year against the Niners when he came through, right? So we'll see what happens with Jordan Love, right? So I felt that by this year, yeah, I thought Caleb would
Yeah,
be
he
good.
got blown out by the Niners.
And so at the same time, um, I'm just saying
Outdoor
that
stadium.
people projected that Caleb was going to be the best, player for a while. Actually, it's coming out. I predicted this year. People thought that in a couple of years he's going to be the best one ever in this division, NFC North.
Yeah, I
That's
don't know
why
about
I
that.
don't listen to these pundits when it comes time for draft and analysis, and because I mean some of them do watch a lot of tape, but you just don't know how it translates to the NFL. You don't know
Yeah.
what kind of system the quarterback's going to be going into NFL and what kind of support he has from the coaching staff and also on his team, the receivers and running backs and the defense. So it's all about going to a system that can really help you get to where you want to be, like Jaden Daniels. Like he has a good
No,
coach,
I disagree.
coordinator, offensive coordinator,
That's what he
right?
has.
They found a way to make Jaden Daniels, successful and be really impactful. Like, if you were to do the draft again, I think Jaden Daniels would be number one right now.
Oh, easily.
You're right.
Either
And
him
more
or the
than
guy
Um,
from
him.
Denver. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
agree with you. But one thing, look, I'll tell you right now. One thing that Chicago gave, okay, the one thing that Commanders has over Chicago is the better coaching staff. Other than that, I think Chicago has better players around the rookie. If you look at it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're a better player, but that's why, as the Bears GM, to me, it didn't make sense when you draft Caleb Williams. You just get rid of the coaching staff because that's from your
yeah,
prior quarterback, right? They should have just clean house, as far as the coaching staff is concerned.
yeah,
They should have gone out there and hired a offensive minded head coach, Ben Johnson, right? Or somebody
Hmm.
who's an up and coming
yeah.
offensive
I
coordinator,
agree.
right? Or get a really good coach, like defensive coach.
Hmm.
That's fine, but then get a really good offensive coordinator like Kellen Moore, or the offensive coordinator for the Commanders, right? Cliff Kingsbury,
Hmm.
right? Bring
Yeah,
him over, make
Hmm.
him the offensive coordinator, get a really good,
he's probably
you
most
know,
likely.
maybe even if you would have brought in, like, let's just say somebody like Mike Vrabel, who's been successful at coaching and has a really good, defensive philosophy, and then you bring in like Kellen Moore or Cliff Kingsbury, then that would have
Yeah,
worked, right? Or go for Ben Johnson and make him a head coach, and then Bears,
yeah,
always have a good defense. They've always had a good defense, right? So that's usually not a concern. It's just always the quarterback in the offense.
yeah. I
I
think
agree with you.
Kingsbury is probably the likely choice because Kyler Murray is most similar to
Hundred
Caleb
percent.
Williams. So like, and he made Kyler Murray a little bit better, right? So
Yeah.
I think that would be a good one. And then of course, don't forget when it was when Washington, a consultant of theirs was Bill Belichick while he was not coaching. He was a consultant for Washington Commanders, so
Hmm.
that also can play into some of the stuff that they did for the good this year.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so and I think the other story so far in the NFL before we get into the playoffs was the Patriots firing the first year
Mayo.
coach.
Yeah.
This was surprising. Gerard Mayo being let go after one season. I mean, everyone knew the Patriots were going to suck, so why would they fire him? Like, I mean, the
Uh,
headline is right now is because they want Mike Vrabel. He's available,
no.
and so they want Mike Vrabel to be there. And then
So I read into that already because Rabel was available last year too before they hired him.
yeah,
So it was is
but
that
Gerard Mayo was promised the job after Belichick. He had been
so
promised for 5 years.
so I read into this reports about okay, so I read into it last week that this was coming down the pipeline that he was gonna be fired.
Yes,
So the reason why that happened, no, hear me out,
according to his
You
hear
have
me
your
out,
tribal
sources?
sources.
hear me out. No, I'll bring into this. No. So then okay, so Robert Kraft, right, was furious with the coaching staff because there were some games that they were the coaching staff was not prepared going into the game, even though they
Right.
were gonna lose. They were not prepared. Besides that Buffalo Bills game they had 2 weeks ago that they played well, prior to that, the coaching staff was not well prepared, and they did not prepare the players to play well enough to show up for the game. And
Mhm.
so they were furious. There was a few games that they were just blown out, and they did not like the work ethic that they were not ready to be in that game. And so that was what I was hearing. Like reading the articles and everything from Adam Schefter and everything. That basically the coaching staff was not prepared and well enough where they prepared their players to play for the game. And that's what's coming down, basically, why Mayo got fired. And so, I mean, it's not because of a Rabel being available, because I understand he was promised his job last year, but still, promise goes how far in this business? Not that far. So, Rabel was available last year as well too, but now he's going to be one of the candidates interviewing for the job, obviously. But I do feel but that was one of the biggest reasons why Gerard Mayo got fired. Preparation.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it could be. I think Robert Kraft, obviously, when you're trying to replace someone like
Belichick.
Belichick, and you see how the work ethic is, or the
Exactly.
work that Belichick puts in, and you don't see the same thing carried over, then that's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
So I get that part, but at the same time, it's just like the Patriots are historically they're kind of like the Steelers, where like they don't hire coaches in a carousel. They're like kind of like, okay, we have one coach, we stick, we stick, we
Mm-hmm.
stick. This is the first time where like they gave up on Gerard Mayer right away and then just gave it to somebody else. Like it's kind of surprising, but I mean it's for the better. Honestly, I think Mike Vrabel is a better coach. It's probably going to be a better move for them overall because they also covered their defensive coordinator too, right? I believe so. Both of them are gone, so we'll see.
I want to see how that goes.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the playoffs. So I can't wait to hear this. This is gonna be awesome. All right, so let's lay it out. First round for the AFC, we have the Chiefs on a bye. We got the Bills against the Broncos, Ravens against the Steelers, and the Texans against the Chargers. All right, guys, give me your thoughts. So, who you guys got between the Bills and the Broncos?
Man, that's a tough one, huh, guys? I got the Bills, man. This is not going to be even a close match. This is going to be. It's
Bills
going to
are favored
be.
by 9 in
I
this
know.
game.
Bills are hungry, man. They're this is the. I mean, I think it might be close in the beginning, but I think it's in Buffalo. I think Josh Allen is going to take this game, man. That's what I feel.
All right, you got the Bills. Okay, what do you got?
Yeah, I have the Bills too, but I don't think it's gonna be a blowout. I think, it might be like a closer game, maybe a 10-point game or 2 touchdown game. So
Mhm.
not really a blowout. I mean, Denver, has a really good defense. I mean, I don't know the stats as far as like where they rank in the top, 5 or top 10. But their defense is legitimate. So um, I think obviously you can't contain Josh Allen and the Bills' offense, but I think they'll be competitive and the game should be interesting. But I
Yeah.
think I don't foresee where the Bills would be in any trouble throughout the game. I think they'll have a comfortable lead, but I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Yeah, I think they cover. They definitely beat them by like 10, 14
Yeah.
points. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like a massacre necessarily.
Mm.
But yeah, the Bills have a. I mean, again, if it was the Bengals, this would have been a very interesting game. I probably would have picked the Bengals, honestly, to
Yeah,
get
no, I
upset.
mean it's not gonna
But
be a massacre, but I think it'll be close in the first quarter, like what I mean. But
yeah,
then overall, it's just gonna be a 10, 14 point game. It'll be like a touchdown and a field goal lead or a 2 touchdown lead. That's what I
yeah.
feel.
And the Broncos are the 7th best total defense.
That's
All
good.
right, then we got the Ravens and the Steelers. The Ravens are favored by 10 in this game. What you guys got?
Oh man, dude, the Steelers just hit a slide at the wrong time,
They're
man.
sinking ship, dude.
They can't do anything, man. So, and plus, these two teams are really familiar with each other for the past 5 weeks now. They played each other within 2 times in 5 weeks. So, and like they just played them 2 weeks ago. So, I do feel that Baltimore, this game is gonna be the same feel that was last time, man. They're just gonna win this. So, I have Baltimore
Agreed.
coming out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
same
this
thing.
is a game that could be a blowout because the Steelers'
Yeah,
offense just
yeah,
stinks. They can't get anything on
yeah.
offense, and so this could be a blowout. But yeah, the Ravens would win this one. I think handedly.
Yeah, I think the Ravens win early. Like they are up 14-0 and just blow them out. Because I don't think Russell Wilson and the offense can bring back the against the Ravens in this game. So this will probably be a massacre, honestly. And then the last game for the AFC is gonna be the Texans and the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers are only favored by 2.5. So I mean, I'm not a big fan of the Texans. I think their offense has really just come to a halt. I got the Chargers in this one, but who you guys got?
Same here, man. Chargers. This game actually is gonna be very close. It's gonna come down, yeah, and so I think it's gonna be less than a touchdown game. Obviously, like it's just 2 right now, so it's gonna be like a field goal or so. But it's gonna come down to coaches, and I do feel it's gonna come down to quarterbacks. So let's see how it goes. I do have Chargers coming out of winning this game. So
Where is this game played at?
Houston,
LA or in Houston?
Yeah, Houston.
Houston? Yeah, this is a toss-up game. I think I'm gonna give it to Houston just because they have the home field.
okay.
And they have I mean, both the quarterbacks are pretty much equal. Obviously CJ Stroud has
Strong.
had experience in the playoffs last year, so I think that'll be valuable.
Do you think both QBs are the same, man? I think Justin
No,
Herbert is
Justin
slightly
Herbert's a
better.
different level.
I think
he's better, but I think Chargers head coach, is it Jim Harbaugh? That's his name. Or is it Jim or John? John is
Jim.
Baltimore, right?
John, yeah, Baltimore.
Okay, so Jim Harbaugh. I think Jim Harbaugh's mentality has always been, or his philosophy is, run first, right? That's what he did with the 49ers. Run, play
But
action
he
pass.
loves Justin Herbert. He's in love with him.
And so I don't think he has let Justin Herbert loose quite just yet. But yeah, I think Herbert is a slightly better quarterback than Stroud. But I think Houston's at home, so I'll give it to Houston.
But by the way, what's your guys' take on Ezekiel Elliott signing with the Chargers?
It's a nothing burger.
You don't think so? I think it's a big deal.
Zeke is, I mean, he's a body to throw out there, but he's not going to do anything.
No, but like, it's a good veteran, because I mean, they do have
Dobbins.
They have Dobbins and the other guy, right? As a running, they take turns. And so I do think Zeke could be their presence for like goal line, like that big, heavy dude. That's a good. I like that.
Dude
hasn't produced in almost 2 years, man. So like, why would Jim Harbaugh trust him in the goal line?
Yeah.
I mean, again, he's a good backup. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good body throw out there. But if it's a goal line, they're going with Dobbins. I don't see them throwing Zeke out there.
I mean, he could be out there just to kind of trick them. I'm saying, like, just kind of you still gotta like, show up for Zeke, right? Because Zeke is still a big body, man. Like, if you have Zeke and Dobbins out there, man, you don't know who they're gonna give the ball to for running, right? It could be a trickle you pray, right? One guy could be a blocker, like my brother said, so it can work.
All right, so that is the AFC side. Let's go into NFC side. So you got the Lions on a bye. You got the Eagles and the Packers, Bucks and the Commanders, and then Rams and Vikings.
Yeah.
Let's go to the first one, of course, Eagles and the Packers, and I'm sure Kerry can't wait for this. The Eagles are favored by 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles are coming in with the NFL's best defense and best passing defense, and the Packers just lost their third best wide receiver, not their best, third best wide receiver in Watson. So, Kerry, you feeling good, man? You confident in this one? Pretty confident? Very confident?
I would say I'm confident that, not speaking from a fan's perspective, obviously on Sunday it's going to be, I'm going to be different because it's going to be all
Okay.
Packers. But for the sake of being really honest and objective, I think the Eagles should win this game. It's going to be a close game, but, yeah, I can obviously the Eagles with the running attack. If the Packers can slow down the running attack and make Jalen Hurts kind of scramble in the pocket and like make him more of a thrower, then I think the Packers, might have a chance, but Christian Watson's out for the Packers and he's their deep
Mm-hmm.
threat, and somebody else on the team is gonna have to step up big time for the deep threat. Romeo Dobbs is more of like the intermediary, and Jaden Reed
Yeah.
is more like, sort of like the Debo Samuel type. He can be a running back, out of the backfield, short passes, slot receiver type. And so like other guys like Heath that we have, and Dontavian Wicks, they're gonna have to be the guys that have to go spread the field and be the long distance wide receiver. And our defense, I like our defense. I have more confidence in our defense than I do in our offense at this point because the offense has just not been good the last 2 weeks.
Is that
So I
'cause-
think
is,
if the
is that because
defense
Jordan
can,
Love, or is that because of offensive schemes?
I think it's the combination of both Jordan Love, play calling, and just not being in a rhythm. I don't think the Packers this season I can recall where I can say, oh yeah, we played really well on offense. I don't think we've clicked on offense this year as I would have hoped we did. So
Yeah.
for those reasons, I think Eagles probably. I mean, it was a close game in week one. It was a 5 point game, and even though
Mm-hmm.
Saquon Barkley went for like 138 yards and 3 touchdowns. Eagles had 3 turnovers. I don't think we converted on all the turnovers. Maybe we might have kicked like 2 field goals on the 3 turnovers, so that didn't help our cause. So it was a competitive game. It was 5 points. Again, that was week one. Everyone's just filling themselves out. So we'll see. But yeah, Eagles for this one. I'll be shocked if the Packers win. It's probably gonna be the biggest upset, like this weekend.
Yeah.
Uh, I
Kenny,
mean,
what
I
do you
have
got?
Packers winning this. To be honest, I do feel what's going to happen is that look, Jalen Hurts hasn't played for 3 weeks, and playing not playing for 3 weeks is huge in the NFL. And so if I'm the Packers, the ingredients should be rush, pressure, Hurts, hit him, get him to the ground. And once that happens, then if they can just somehow not let Saquon go off, and then let Hurts see if he can throw the ball to Devontae Smith or whoever receivers they have they can throw the ball to. But I do feel that Packers coming off a loss. I know that Jordan Love was feeling his throwing arm. I mean, hopefully he's okay. I mean, that's gonna come down to him being healthier or not. I'm not too scared about their deep threat being out, because I do feel that the one guy that's gonna be important for Packers is their tight end, Tucker Kraft, right? That's his name, and so he's gonna be huge in this game because I think that's where the ball's mostly gonna be going to. I think that's their main target when it's like 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 5. They'll be
No,
it,
he's like, well, I think he becomes more important now, but
yeah,
usually he's like the third or fourth option on the team. But now he might become like
Yeah, we
the
watched it now.
second, depending on the situation, second or third option.
right. And
The first
so
option is always going to be running, with Josh
yeah,
Jacobs.
I
And
think
then second
I
option is going to be Romeo Dobbs, finding Romeo Dobbs, and
or Reed
then,
if he comes alive finally again. So I mean, he's
yeah.
been gone for a while. So I mean, he hasn't played well. So hopefully Reed plays
Yeah, if
well.
Matt LaFleur becomes, if he has a good game plan where he's keeping the Philly defense on the heels and not know what's coming up, throwing surprises at them, then I think the Packers can have a really good offensive game and can hang with
I do
Philly. But
I
the
do
other thing I think is important is that Packers, they have gotten off to a very slow start in the first half.
Hmm.
So I think it's very important for them to like not fall behind. And the strategy now it has been that if we win the toss, then we elect to receive the ball in the first half. So when we do that, like, it it helps us when we go down and score. We be the first team to score because I think that alleviates some pressure, from offense because like now they know that they've scored, and then helps the defense out because they know that we've scored, so like they're pumped up. I think it's really important because Packers have just started off slow in the first half, and we don't want to fall behind like 14-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So we need
Yeah.
to come out, have a really good game plan on the first drive, and not settle for a field goal, but like go in there and score a touchdown.
I mean, I do feel if Packers can in the first quarter just get to Jalen Hurts, man, coming off a concussion protocol, man, hasn't touched the field in 3 weeks or so, man, get him shaky. That'll be a good recipe to go through because if you kind of get some hits on him and make him go a little slow, and then they have to depend on Saquon, right? And if Packers defense kind of shores up that little and not let him go off too much, then Packers will have a chance to win this game because as long as Jordan Love is healthy, man, I do have Packers coming out of this. This is gonna be a close game, a very very close game. I think. I don't feel that this game is gonna be. I'll be surprised if Eagles run away with it or Packers run away with it. This is not going to be last year's Packers against Dallas running away with it. I'll be surprised.
Right.
So, but what do you think?
I think the Packers' best chance here is to go up 10-0 if possible the first quarter, and you take Saquon out of the game, right? So because then they have to start throwing the ball more to catch up. And I have the Packers winning as well, mainly because you don't give the ball to Jordan Love. The Packers have the fifth best rushing defense, so they can probably try to contain Saquon as much as they can. I mean, obviously, probably go for 100 yards easy, but try to contain as much as you can. But they also have the best rushing offense, so they should really just run it down the Eagles' throat because Eagles have the best passing on defense. So you cannot throw to the Eagles' secondary by any means. So don't give the ball to Jordan Love because he makes some really bad mistakes, some pick sixes, really poor pick sixes this year. I say as long as they do that, and I trust Matt LaFleur to come with a better game plan than Sirianni does. So I think Matt LaFleur is 10 times better coach than Sirianni is. So I trust him to be more prepared for this game, and Sirianni be like, "We have the best team in the freaking NFL. Why are we worried about this?" And he's gonna walk out there, and Jalen Hurts probably get another concussion. Who the hell knows? I honestly do think the Packers upset the Eagles.
Yeah, I'm saying here, man.
All right, well, you guys are more confident than I am. Okay.
The whole season, me and Kenny have been like, the Eagles are just waiting for something to happen. The team is not fully there, the culture is not quite there, and I think the Packers are just the right team to kind of like, and they're also, like I said, the youngest team in the NFL. They're there to kind of shock them a little bit and pretty much just turn everything around.
Which is going to happen.
Yeah,
So
I think the key will be for the Packers to get off to a fast start.
And run the
And
ball
yeah,
like
I
no other.
think you got to take something away, right? So I guess, Jalen Hurts coming off of a concussion, I would just load the box and, not give anything to Saquon and see if Jalen Hurts can throw the ball and
Yeah.
hope. And the other thing is like our cornerback, Jaire Alexander is also out for the season, right?
Oh yeah.
He had a knee injury or a knee surgery recently, so he won't be back unless if we make the Super Bowl. So that's, pretty
Yeah.
much out for the season, right? So I think if we had, Jaire Alexander or starting corner, then I can say like like load up the box and then just play one on the back end, receiver versus cornerback, and then just go with that. But we'll see.
Yeah, should be a good game though. I think it'll be a very close game. I'm really hoping the Packers start off strong because like they do start off very very slow and they catch it up at the very end. Like the Rams game was a good one where they were just down and then like all of a sudden they come back out of nowhere. So hopefully that's not the case
I
this
think
time.
this would be the best game from the NFC side, though.
You think so? Oh yeah, because the Vikings probably blow
Yeah.
out the Rams and then
Yeah, okay. If that's what you want to say, man, that's what you want to say.
You're
If
right.
if that's how you want to say it, man, go for it, man. If that's how you're
That's right.
taking it, man.
But I think on the NFC side, I think all the games will be competitive, unlike the AFC where you can see a blowout between the Ravens or even potentially the Bills too, right?
Yeah.
So I think the NFC games will be more competitive and balanced.
Yeah, the next one would be the Bucks and the Commanders. Yeah, this one I'm not quite sure who I would go here. The Bucks are favored by 3 because they're playing at home. Who you guys got? I honestly don't know this one. I want to say the Bucks because Baker Mayfield has been a little bit hot, but I honestly don't know.
Man,
They're kind of equal teams.
I have Commanders winning this game.
Commanders.
Yeah, I mean, especially like playing a Bucks team that's not playing anything special either. I mean, they almost lost against the Saints this past Sunday.
Yeah, they did.
With the game, I mean, the game should have even been close, and they had to come back. You know, they're actually trailing in the first half. They actually came back and they won the game. Bucks are not playing, the way they're supposed to. I mean, Baker's been playing well. I mean, but man, I have Commanders. With Daniels leading the hand, man, I think they'll be winning this game. It'll be a close one, but I think here and there, I think Commanders got this game. How about you?
Care? Yeah.
I got the Bucks. It's going to be a competitive game, but I don't see the Commanders winning this. I think right now Baker Mayfield is a better quarterback, better weapons. I think on the Bucks with the running game and the wide receivers.
You think so?
I think there's a
You think so?
yeah.
Brian Robinson from Commanders, and then you have also the receiver. What's his name? Terry McLaurin. Yeah, McLaurin. He's good. I mean, they have.
You got Mike Evans though, right?
Yeah.
And then
So he's just
you
got,
and then their tight end is that one guy, right? I forgot his name too from Commanders. Yeah,
Zach
Ertz. I mean, they have a good lineup there. They have a good. I mean, it's kind of equal.
They do. I'm not saying that their offense is just abysmal, but I think the Bucks is a more of a veteran team, right? With Baker Mayfield going to the playoffs, I think even last year, right? So and with Mike Evans, the coach, and Bucks usually play good defense in the playoffs with their defensive minded head coach. So I think I'll give this one to the Bucks just because they're more of a veteran team, and I think their defense will be able to limit Washington's offense somewhat.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels is too young. He's a rookie. This will be his welcome to NFL moment. I think he needs this. Like kind of how Jordan Love got it last year. Like you need to have that one playoff series to kind of like just get knocked out early, but at least you were there. Baker Mayfield has been there before. The Bucks coach has been there for a while. Mike Evans has been there forever, like in the playoffs. So like they're used to this stuff. The first round, I think they probably are. I mean, on paper, the Commanders are a better team, but I think the pedigree of the Bucks probably will win this game. None of these teams are competitive for the championship by any means, but I think the Bucks will probably win.
If they had Godwin, then I would give a little more edge to the Bucks. If they had Godwin,
yeah,
that would have helped.
But Baker Mayfield, I mean, even after Godwin went out, he still threw 41 touchdowns this year, so it's still pretty crazy. And then last but not least, Keneal, this is going to be Monday Night Football, the Vikings and the Rams.
Yes.
Vikings are favored by 1.5 points at SoFi. Who you got, Keneal? Of course, I know.
Well, I already know what you have. You already have Vikings blowing Rams out, right? That's what you. Yeah. This is the biggest blowout for you, right? This weekend. So. All right, man. Put it this way: the last time the Vikings lost back-to-back games this year was in Week 7 when they faced the Detroit Lions in Detroit. They lost to them.
And the Rams, yes.
And the Week 8 was in SoFi on Thursday nighter.
It's not even the same game, brother. It's not the same.
I mean, I understand it's playoffs.
You can't compare the regular season games to playoff games, man.
They're
completely different.
No. I mean, I agree. Regular season game is different than playoff atmosphere. Completely agree with you.
I'll give you some. Regular season game against the Eagles and the Green Bay, I would have said Eagles 10 times out of 10. But playoff game, I have the Packers.
I mean, okay, that's fine. Okay, I give it to you, right? And that was actually the first game that we had Cooper Kupp and Puka playing too, by the way. And that wasn't even them being what they're playing right now, right? Like Puka's playing out of the role right now, That was the first game he came back from his, injury too. And we beat them on a Thursday nighter. So I understand you probably don't take that into heavy consideration. But like, to be honest, the shaky performance that Darnold had Sunday nighter and the way the Lions defense played against Minnesota, I just think the Rams are ready for it, man. I do feel that our defense is really young and stupid sometimes. So let's see how they play. But at the same time, man, I do think Matthew Stafford, man, I do feel Matthew Stafford, he's not going to lose this game for sure, man. Especially against Sean McVay going against one of his assistants. I don't see this happening, And so, I mean, I'm just saying, put it this way. It'll be a close one. It won't be a blowout like you think. I know you think it's going to be a 30-point blowout, but it's not going to be a blowout. For sure, it won't be a blowout. But I do feel that, Rams will be here to play. And after what Dan Campbell told O'Connell, I don't know if you guys heard, I'm sure this is
see
the
in
bull
2 weeks.
because
See
you
in
know
2 weeks,
Dan Campbell is like kind of like Sirianni, right? He wants to be that main guy, you know. That's what's gonna get Dan Campbell fired soon too. Watch, give it 2 years, he's gonna be gone too. And so I'll tell you right now, for him to say that I'll see you in 2 weeks, Rams have that ready. Well, they'll definitely see us in 2 weeks, you know. So we'll be facing the Detroit Lions second round. Watch, it won't be the Minnesota Vikings. It won't be Minnesota Vikings. We got bulletin
I
board.
want to hear your take. I have a lot to say, but I'm gonna wait because you go ahead. You go ahead, Care.
I'm gonna give this it's gonna be a competitive edge, but I'm gonna go with Minnesota here because
Okay.
the game of the regular season was a Thursday night game, so it's like a short week, right?
For both
Minnesota has to
teams.
travel to LA. Um, I think Minnesota's defense is better, and they can stop the Rams offense. I don't think the Rams defense can have the same impact the Lions defense did on Sam Darnold. And I think Sam Darnold has mostly struggled mightily like that against, the Lions, who I think, they have like one of the top defenses along with the offenses. So it'll be a competitive game, like a field goal or a touchdown game. But I think Minnesota should be able to pull out just overall, I think Minnesota has a better defense and they have better offensive weapons than the Rams. But, would I be shocked if the Rams won? No, I wouldn't be. But I'm giving a slight edge to Minnesota.
So you're saying that the QB is better on Minnesota's side. The two receivers are. I mean, Justin Jefferson is way better than Puka and Cooper Kupp. But you told me the second Addison's better than Cooper Kupp and Puka, and then you told me the Aaron Jones is better than Williams. We have. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I think Stafford's better than Donald's. I mean, to be honest with you, so you can't. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give the edge to Stafford because
I wouldn't say the offense is better. I wouldn't say the offensive side is better on Minnesota side than the Rams. I mean, I understand they have the best receiver. In the game they have the best receiver right now, which is Justin Jefferson. But after that, it's all Rams. I mean, the QB is better. The receivers like 1 and 2 are better. Our tight end is slightly better.
What are you basing the QB on?
Our tight end slightly like they're like basically right there, right? They have Hawkinson. We have
if the Rams had a Super Bowl defense, like when they won the Super Bowl, I would give the edge to the Rams because then I can see like, okay, yeah, they can disrupt Minnesota's offense, but I don't see the Rams doing that. The edge of the quarterback does go to the Rams because, Stafford is a veteran player. He's been there, he's done that. But just because you have a better quarterback, doesn't mean you're going to win the game. I mean,
if you ask Brady that, honestly, wait, hold on. If you ask Patriots Brady that, they didn't have the best receivers, right? So you can't. if you give Brady,
brother,
I'm just saying,
don't put Stafford and Brady in the same.
It's about play calling and the game plan because the Packers for years had the best quarterback when they went up against all the teams in the playoffs. We talked from, San Francisco 49ers, when we played them twice. You could argue when we went up against, Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship with Matt Ryan. I think Rodgers is better. That year, the Falcons defense and offense were just clicking and they were better than
the same time, home field mattered too, right? Because it was in Atlanta.
But the game plan mattered too, right? So if you have a game plan.
The main thing you guys are taking away from it, if this game was in Minnesota, I would give Minnesota an edge. But you guys taking the whole home court away. I'm telling you, home field away. Traveling to LA, playing in LA. Home field does. I know you guys don't think home field matters, but playing in a playoff game, one and done, home field does matter, right? If this game, like the games you said, I think if I remember most of the games against the Niners were played in San Francisco, and the game against Atlanta that you're talking about back in 2000 and I think it was like in 12,
16?
In 11, it was in Atlanta when Matt Ryan won that game. It wasn't in Lambeau, right? So I do feel home field does matter. Right. To a team.
Yeah, it does matter. I agree. It's better to have home field than not have a home field, but
that home field doesn't matter in LA, man. You went to the Green Bay and Rams game.
No,
Tell me how many more Green Bay fans were there.
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about. But Tapas here. Tapas. Look, listen to me.
If you remember the Rams against the Eagles in LA.
No.
Right. It was an Eagles home. Vikings have already sold out SoFi Stadium.
But no, what I'm trying to say, no, look, you hear me out. I'm not talking about whose fans gonna show up. That's not the argument. I'm not saying the argument about which fans gonna show up. I'm not saying about that. What I'm saying is that you're playing comfort of your own home. You're playing in your stadium. It's like you're playing in your
Brother,
turf.
it's LA. It's comfort for everybody.
No, dude.
Do you think the Vikings, Minnesota, would want to play in Minnesota right now? Would they want to come play
I
in sunny
guarantee you,
LA?
Minnesota. I guarantee you, if Green Bay had a choice, they would rather not play in Philadelphia outdoors. They would rather play in Lambeau outdoor. Agree or disagree?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Well, yeah, because you
You want to play your own. You want to play your own turf. You want to play your own turf, right?
If you're saying home turf, you're saying weather, all that stuff. I get that, and of course, Packers versus Eagles. Eagles fans are going to show up for them. Rams fans don't show up like that. It'll be a Vikings home game in the sunny Vikings thing.
No, I agree
That's
with you.
how it is in SoFi. Besides,
Yeah, I understand.
I've been
Rams
to
fans
a lot
don't
of Rams
travel.
games,
No, I
and
understand.
I've been to Chargers games.
And Vikings fans are going to travel, and they are going to basically,
Yeah.
they're going to do the same thing.
It doesn't matter in this
They're going to do
case.
the same thing what they did for Detroit, right? They're going to buy out like 20,000 tickets, like they did in Detroit, and they still end up losing, right? So, but like they'll probably still buy out like 30, 40,000 in SoFi, and it's going to be basically, all Vikings out there. I know that. What I'm trying to say is that when it comes down, I mean, I feel that Rams are at home, the players are at home, they're going to be playing in SoFi. It's going to be I feel that we have a slight edge due to that reason as well, too,
You wouldn't have a losing record at home then if that was the case.
I mean, dude, we had injuries, man. I mean, we still made the playoffs coming out of it, right? I mean, I'm just saying.
If Sam Darnold plays the way he did against the Lions, where he's just, being pressured and the Rams can do that, then yeah, the Rams will win the game. But if Sam Darnold's playing like he has been, throughout the season, except when facing the Lions, then I think it's going to be tough to beat the Vikings.
I'm not with you guys on the fact that Sam Darnold is a worse quarterback than Matt Stafford.
Only two teams beat Minnesota this year.
But you can't keep looking at that, dude. I mean, 7 teams that beat the Rams. Are you telling me any of them are going to have a better chance?
My brother just said that if Darnold plays the same way he plays against Detroit, like the way he lost, I mean, you're forgetting the Rams are the teams also beat him too. We made him play like that as well too. That he lost against us as well. That doesn't matter.
In the season, dude. Okay, I don't think Sam Darnold.
There's some stock to that.
I mean,
I don't think Sam Darnold is good as Matt Stafford.
You're taking this regular season thing out of you're saying that it doesn't matter. It does matter. Okay, Kara, do you think it matters or no? Beating someone in the regular season, giving them a loss, does that matter or doesn't matter?
It matters, but I'm not going to put a whole lot of weight to it. Like it matters from the standpoint of okay.
But Tappas is thinking Tappas, if you can't put any weight into it, you can't take anything into it. This is
not in the NFL.
Yeah,
when you're game planning, you can be like, okay, this is what we did and this is why we won. And then, take into account how have they been playing since you beat them. And then you see if you need to change anything and what can you carry over from the game that you beat them. I mean, for those reasons, yeah.
As a Brady fan, I know what it felt like when we lost to the Giants. And then we whooped their ass in the regular season. So, again, we met in the Super Bowl, we lost again. It did not matter what we did to them in the regular season. We whooped their ass when with Randy Moss. And then we still lost to them in the Super Bowl. So, trust me, it does not matter what happens. The Bills beat the Chiefs. They're the only team that beat the Chiefs this year. Do you think the Bills are going to be like, oh, yeah, we beat them already in the regular season. We'll have easy shots.
But it's still,
even Denver beat them. Who the hell? Who cares? Denver
when we were making our predictions, right, during the season, at the time when Bills were going to play the Chiefs, right, the one thing we said that is that we said that Bills need this victory a little more just to have a mental edge that they can beat them, right? So what I'm trying to say is that, by Rams beating and being the only other team beating Minnesota Vikings, that's the edge. Then losing it.
But at that time, when they played them, you did not think that the Rams had the mental edge over Vikings. You didn't even think the Rams were going to win a division. You were hoping they would get the wild card.
Well, because Niners are there, of course. I know. I mean,
so there's a mental edge there.
But you knew if you got into the wild card and made the playoffs, you knew that the way Vikings and Detroit was playing, they were going to get that home field, and that you were going to probably go there, and so you had to play well against them. That's what I'm trying to say. It was week 8 game.
All I'm saying is the Vikings have a much better defense than the Rams. Vikings are ranked 10 and the Rams are ranked 26 in the NFL in defense.
Okay.
There's a reason why they barely got into the playoffs, right? I don't think and for me personally, I know you guys will disagree with it. For me personally, I'm a stats guy. I look at it this way. This year, not saying all time, this year specifically, Sam Darnold has had a better season than Matt Stafford.
Oh, yeah.
Agree or disagree?
100%.
Right? So he
100%.
technically would be a better quarterback going into this game.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
But no, but one winner take all, I will take Stafford. Winner take all. That's my thing.
All right. We shall see. This will be fun to see.
It's kind of like saying, it's kind of like winner take all. Do I take Mahomes or do I take Josh Allen? I'll take Mahomes. My bet.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the fact that for Sam Darnold, who's been playing well all season, I think um, he hasn't been pressured like he had with the Lions, and so um, he knew where he was going with the ball. He was able to kind of break down the defense at the line of scrimmage, and he knew what he was going to do. So in that regard, I think Sam Darnold would have to have like he plays better when everything set perfectly for him, and he's not being pressured like crazy. But when it comes to Matthew Stafford, I think he can play better under pressure because he's that veteran quarterback. He's played longer. He's played better for a longer time than Sam Darnold has. So if Matthew Stafford was to get pressured like that, I think he would probably figure out a way, to still be successful compared to Sam Darnold. So, quarterback, Sam Darnold has played better this year, but I think just being the veteran and out of respect, that probably Stafford.
See, the three things I take out of this game, the reason I'm giving the Rams the edge is not because I'm not being a homer. Is the three reasons why is one, we have Matthew Stafford, a veteran. I love that guy. When it comes to one and done, I'd rather take him. Second, I will take Sean McVay. That's the assistant coach he's going up against. He's the one that hired him, became offensive coordinator. So I'll give I know you guys probably don't think Sean McVay is a good coach. He's a genius.
No, he is.
And so I do feel that I'll give him edge over O'Connor for sure. And at the same time, when Dan Campbell said we'll see you in 2 weeks, O'Connell, that's bulletin board material. I know you guys don't probably think that's a bulletin board material for Rams, but that's a huge bulletin board material.
It is even for the Packers too, right? I mean,
now why?
Yeah, exactly.
He's basically saying that he's going to see the Vikings in 2 weeks and not the Packers.
No, he would not see the Packers at all.
If we win, we face the Lions, right?
Oh yeah, sorry, you're right.
Yeah,
that's true. I forgot about that.
So he's basically saying, I don't think Packers can win in Philly. So see you in 2 weeks.
And then second, I do feel this game is in LA. Forget the fans. I know Vikings fans are going to travel, Tapas. I know for a fact. Rams have no fans here. They're going to sell all their tickets away. But I just do feel that the players will be more comfortable playing at home. You know how they say in the NBA, the role players don't perform well on the road. They'll play better at home. Like the role players, right? That's what I mean. Like those young players, our defense is super young. That's why we're not that great. And so I think our young defense will perform better at home against a team like this instead of playing in Minnesota. That's why that 3 edge will give the Rams hopefully a victory. That's what I feel.
Yeah, so I mean it's going to be a close game.
You're glossing over a lot of the fact that Vikings are 14-3.
Or what?
You're glossing over they're significantly better. If this was the Buccaneers, I understand it, right? But the Vikings have, minus this past game, and who knows if Sean McVay can learn or teach his team how to rush or blitz the quarterback in 1 week, because that's exactly what the Lions did both times. The Lions said we're throwing people at Sam Darnold nonstop all the time, and they have a really good blitzing team.
Yeah,
Rams don't quite have a good blitzing team. So, if they can somehow find a way to have everyone just blitz nonstop and scare Sam Darnold, then that's possible. But I don't think the Rams have that. So that's why I don't think you're going to get the same. You cannot tell me the Rams are going to do the same thing what the Lions did to the Vikings that the Rams can do to them. Because that's again, you're comparing two very opposite teams, like Brady and Stafford. You can't make that comparison.
Oh, no.
So I'm sure the Rams can replicate what the Lions did,
and I'm sure Minnesota's gonna watch the game and they're gonna change their offensive scheme up, make it a little more comfortable for Darnold, right? So you can't replicate what happened past Sunday, right? That was like a one and done kind of thing, and that's it.
Yeah,
you got to play your own game and you got to come up with your own ways to beat them, basically. But I do feel it'll be a close game. So.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be shocking if the Rams win, because I think. Yeah, Rams being at home. Yeah, there is more than a puncher's chance that the Rams can win this game. So no one's going to be shocked. Like I said, the big shock is going to be Green Bay upsetting Philadelphia. That would be shocking. Because right now everybody's picking Philly. Obviously, because they have, the best player between the two teams in the game, Saquon Barkley. And, and they have a really good, defense. The Philly does.
Mhm.
So does the Packers. But it's just that because of the last 2 weeks, the way the Packers have played and they haven't looked good on offense, and a little bit on defense, everyone's going with Philly. So Packers, winning
Yeah,
in Philly is going to be a shocker. But then Rams beating Minnesota,
that'd be a
it
shocker.
it won't be a shocker. It's like, okay, yeah, I mean. Rams did beat him in the regular season, and it looks like Sam Darnold didn't recover from that Lions game.
Yeah, you never know. But I mean, that's the beauty of playoffs. Honestly, that's why I love to watch playoffs, because I get to shit talk like this and just get Camille so riled up to the point where like we're arguing about LA fans, even though we both are LA fans.
Put some respect to the Rams, man. That's all I gotta say to you.
None here, dude. None here. I mean, they had the worst division in football. Come on. Besides the Buccaneers, really, you thought their division was competitive? Okay. But yeah, again, I think this will be a very, very good. I think Kerry right. NFC is gonna be a lot closer games than AFC will be, because everything is kind of like with AFC, you kind of know who the favorites are by a mile. But NFC is gonna be a lot closer. I think as long as Packers don't let Jordan Love throw, they'll be all right. They'll win the game. So
I mean,
just
Your
hopefully.
Love has played better in the second half of the season. He hasn't
I
thrown.
just never
He probably
trust
has
the
thrown
guy,
like
dude.
one or two interceptions and no pick sixes in the second half of the season. So
That's what he does best. That's his
you know,
specialty.
so
That's what he
uh,
does best.
I do think the biggest upset would be if Broncos beats the Bills.
Oh yeah, for sure. That
I
no
mean, yeah,
one will
that would
ever
be the
see.
biggest
That'll
upset,
be the
obviously.
Of
huge.
course,
I think everyone's gone
but
out of
it's
that
not.
team.
That won't
Then
be that close.
that team will
I
be
think the
like
most likely
dismantled.
upset.
That team will
The
be
most likely
dismantled.
upset will probably be the Eagles and
Yeah.
the Packers. But should be a good one nonetheless. I mean, we'll just throw it out there. Super Bowl picks. Who you guys got in the Super Bowl? Don't say Rams,
Go
please,
ahead.
for the love of God. Get over yourself.
Lions, and the Bills.
Lions and Bills. All right, all right. See, look at Kier. Kier is a die-hard Packer fan. He will fight me every single time I say anything bad about the Packers. He gets so upset. I can tell. But he's objective and he knows what the truth is. Camille, who you got?
And obviously, the Lions will win against the Packers in the championship game, in the NFC
There you go.
championship. So yeah.
I believe that.
But actually, that
If
can't happen
if
because
the
that's
Packers can beat the
no,
Eagles,
that can't happen
they'll
because
get to the NFC
Packers would have to
Championship.
lose. Packers is the seventh seed, so they would have to play Detroit
Yeah,
in the second round.
yeah,
So that can't happen. My
right.
scenario wouldn't work. But I'm picking the Lions to
That
come
would
out
be
of the
awesome, though.
NFC.
So this is a road,
And
right? This
Bills.
is a road to the NFC Super Bowl.
Oh God, here we go.
All right, so Rams will beat Minnesota.
Okay.
Then we'll play the Buccaneers, or actually Commanders, whoever wins that game, and then they'll play Green Bay at home in LA and beat them to go to Super Bowl. And so,
I mean, I like it. I like the scenario.
No respect for the 15-2 and the 14-3 teams, huh? All right.
nah,
Or even the best running back in the game.
Look, man,
Okay.
I guarantee you, man. Like honestly, I know you think I'm a homer or not, but if you were to tell the Giants fans that, do you think your team's gonna make it when they made the playoffs? They probably all said, yeah, too. I mean, honestly, it's one and done, man.
Huh?
If you play well that day, you're gonna be moving on. So I do feel that Rams, they caught on fire. I mean, everyone has talked about it. We started 1-3 and we won like 9 of the last 10 games, 9 of that 11 game, whatever it is. I mean, there's something to that, And so, I mean, we do have the good offense. I mean, not the best defense. So, hey, anything can happen. I do have Rams and Baltimore. I know I had KC, but I do feel Baltimore's gonna come out of the AFC.
I mean, I initially in preseason I had the Niners, and that's not going to happen. So I have the Lions and the Ravens, and I still stick by the Ravens winning it all.
I have the Rams bringing it all. Super Bowl champs.
And I have the Bills winning it all.
Bills winning it all. Okay. Yeah, I mean, hey, well, don't you have the Chiefs? You said Mahomes going to three-peat.
I do, man. I do. But you know what, man? I like Baltimore, man, the way they're playing.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Chiefs, man. I think something's wrong with them, man. They're not going to play well.
They turned it on towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
They were scoring like crazy.
They were, but I don't know, man. I do feel they're gonna drift off. It's hard to three-peat, man. Nobody has done it, and like looking back at it, there's a reason why no one has done it. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, it's
not
tough.
easy.
It's very, very tough. All right, well, that's
you would
the
need the
NFL.
balls to be a little bit underinflated, to win that three-peat, and have some,
Rodgers did the
cheating
same
scandal
thing.
with Belichick, telling his camera guys to go into opposing teams' press boxes and film their practice session. So that's the
did
key to
you,
winning three Super Bowls in a row, man.
they never did that. But did you hear about the
They never
Brady
did that, huh?
story about
What?
how like when they were practicing at I think it was some away team's field, and there was like they were practicing in the field, and there's like a building with like wide open windows. And Brady freaked out. I was like, guys, we can't practice. We got to go somewhere else. We can't practice here. You never know, people are watching. And it's like the only person, even out of all the coaching staff, no one cared that they were out there. The only person that freaked out was Tom Brady. Was like, no, we cannot, we have to get out of
Are you
here.
serious?
Like, so it just kind of adds to the whole thing about this whole Spygate stuff.
Well, I will tell you one
That's
thing
hilarious.
though. If Philadelphia does lose, man, Sirianni is gone, and I think Belichick will not even coach one game in North Carolina, and he will be the
No,
coach for the.
he's committed to that, dude. Why would he leave? Why would he do that?
He will
That
leave
comes
right
to
away.
integrity, man.
He'll leave North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think Belichick would do that to UNC, but I mean, I do agree with you that if they lose to the Packers first round, Sirianni is not even going to make it to the fly back home. He'll be like Mike Brown, just like, all right, dude,
Yeah, on
you're
the way
out.
there.
Yeah, on the way there,
He's
back
playing
to
commercial.
Cancun, he's going to get fired. Oh my god! All right, well, I think that'll do it. You guys got anything else you want to go over?
Nah, man. I mean, football edition playoff, man. Let's see what happens. I wanna come back next Monday, man. Actually, dude,
I
Monday.
can't wait.
Monday we might do a Tuesday because Monday is the Monday night game, the Rams and Minnesota.
I mean, it'll be done early. Vikings will be like up by 20. We'll be done. We'll hop on. Come on, man. Don't do that. Should we talk about Fox? You guys see the stuff at Fox?
Dude, yeah, let's talk about that, man.
Scandal.
Yeah. So Skip Bayless apparently offered his
1.5
makeup artist 1.5 mil. Joy Taylor again allegedly slept her way through to where she is now. It's crazy.
It's gonna be very hard to prove all this stuff in court, and I think at the end of the day, they're just gonna reach an agreement,
Settlement,
to just pay her off, right? It's just it's because it's too much
crazy though,
he
man.
said, she said, and that
How
doesn't work in
people
the
do that.
courtroom, right? He said this, she said that, and there has to be, proof. If she can show emails that she sent to HR about harassing, and if she can produce that, and the
I think
HR
she has it
not
because
doing
that's why
anything about it.
she's suing Fox Network as a whole, because like it's not just the individual people she's suing. She's suing like the whole network, saying that like I've already done,
like Fox
I've already
Sports Net
reached out to
2,
you,
Fox Sports Net, everything. So she has a lot of
Emmanuel
evidence.
Acho was hitting that too. I don't know if Colin Cowherd. Maybe that's probably why Shannon Sharp left. He's like, I'm out. This is way too messy.
Well,
the one thing that I will say, I don't know if you guys know Marcellus Wiley. He left Fox a while ago, but he left because he was saying there's a lot of shady stuff happening there, and he want to be part of that toxic culture. Right? He said that from day one when he left. He's like, I don't want to be part of that. There's some weird shit happening. Right? He's like, I can't say, but there's a lot of stuff happening.
And then
but they also didn't offer him a contract either, right? I mean,
yeah. But he also he willingly just left because it's like I don't want to be here.
Even Jason Whitlock, I don't know if you guys,
Yeah, well, he's an idiot.
Yeah, but he left for that reason. And then the thing is, what is that? Your Ocho.
Emmanuel Acho. I feel bad for that guy, dude. Poor guy. I mean, him and Earl Watson. I mean, wasn't he engaged to Joy Taylor?
That's what I thought too. And then they got divorced.
Yeah, he was engaged. I think they broke it off, but they were engaged.
Earl Watson, the basketball player.
Yeah,
he was engaged to Joy Taylor.
Yeah.
Until she started clapping cheeks to Ocho and the head honcho for Fox Sports to get more shows.
She went from
hostess. This was recent, where she was engaged recently.
No, like 3 years ago.
3 years ago, like 3-4 years ago. Yeah, but when she was just like a what do you call that? A host at
a Herd.
At the Herd, she was with him, and then I think after that, she started moving up. You can see she was like a commentator and all that kind of stuff. Once
she became a host, then she became a host. So she was just like an assistant to Colin Cowherd. Remember that? And then all of a sudden she became a host for a show, and then she ended up replacing a lot of people and becoming higher and higher position. People never understood why.
And then she went to Undisputed.
She became a host there
to be.
And so now it's all coming out that she was sleeping around basically with executives.
Crazy.
I mean, Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because she got her own show
I want
after
to.
Skip left. So
I
Yeah.
can't wait till first takes shit comes out too, dude. About Molly Curran and whatever.
Stephen A. Oh my God.
That's a nice
Jalen
bombshell
Rose.
to happen, man. To be honest,
Oh man. I don't know how first take still has
well, because
Molly.
like Jalen
She's
Rose and her got
the
divorced,
worst.
right?
Yeah.
And they're saying due to Stephen A.
Perfect time for Stephen A.
no, but I
Crazy,
think
man.
Stephen A is smarter. He wouldn't do anything like that at work. He would, have his thing like off the, I mean, not work related, but like in his personal life, and so.
Maybe get her
I think
fired like he got Max
Stephen
Kellerman
A
fired.
has worked hard to where he's at. He wouldn't do something like that and just ruin his reputation or
Yeah.
career.
I mean, he's the face of
Not
ESPN,
that
honestly.
he's not married, so it's not like it would be like a oh my God, Stephen A, you're married, how can you cheat on your wife
Yeah.
kind of a thing. But I don't think he would do that. It's
Yeah.
he knows
Mess up the
better.
integrity of the show, which he built, so I think it would not be good. But let's see. All right, well,
All
we will
right,
end it there. If you guys got
Right,
anything
man.
else,
so
cool.
Tuesday, huh?
Tuesday, let's do it. All right, I cannot wait. I'm telling you guys, I freaking love playoff NFL. It's the best time of the year,
I'm telling you,
especially when
man.
you don't root for
The
a
two
team.
playoffs I
Jeez,
like the
it's the
most is
best.
NFL playoffs and March Madness. One and out, man. That's all that
Oh
matters.
man, it's gonna be awesome. But yeah, we will be back Tuesday, I guess. I mean, or maybe Monday, because again, they'll be blowing out, so we might as well hop on and chit chat about it. Maybe I'll send you some flowers, Camille, so that way
Shut
you
the
can
hell
get
up.
over it quickly. Until then, brown balls out.
Uh,
You mean you'll be giving flowers to my Rams by winning that shit? Yeah, that's fine, bro.
No.
You do that.